Lifechanyuan does not advocate veganism. Xiefeng. October 25, 2020. Lifechanyuan follows the way of nature, which exists on the principle that low-level life serves high-level life, microbes serve plants, plants serve insects, birds, and beasts, everything in nature serves mankind, and the whole universe serves the greatest creator. This shows that humans can eat animals. The teachers of Lifechanyuan are Christ Jesus, Buddha Shakyamuni, Celestial Laozi, Prophet Muhammad, Pbuh, and sages from the past. It is recorded in the Gospels that Christ Jesus fed 5,000 people with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. It is written that God will give us meat, and that we can eat it. If we were not allowed to eat meat, then Jesus would not have fed people with fish. Did Buddha Shakyamuni eat meat? The Buddhist classics are vast and voluminous. We will not look for the Buddha's original words from the classics, but learn from the Diamond Sutra, which says that the Buddha's food came from receiving alms. In simple words, this means that the Buddha traveled to every household to beg for food and that he ate whatever they offered. No records indicate that he ever rejected meat dishes from almsgivers. These facts prove that the Buddha ate meat. Whether Lao Tzu ate meat or not is unclear, but Lao Tzu has this famous philosophical point of view: the best people are like water. What are the characteristics of water? One of them is that if its container is round, then it will be round; if its container is square, then it will be square. By extension, if there is only vegetarian food, then we should eat vegetarian food; if there is only meat, then we should eat meat. In this way, we will be in line with the characteristics of water. If we refuse to eat because no vegetarian food were around, then would we be acting like water? Of course not, we would actually be acting more like stone. As for whether or not Muhammad, Pbuh, ate meat, look at Muslims. Muslims eat meat selectively. To sum up, gods, Buddhas, and celestials did not teach us that we must be strictly vegetarian. I have inspected the 3 realms and found that whether it is heaven, earth, or hell, the environments of lives have nothing to do with the type of food that they eat, but is closely related to their souls. It is better to say that whether a person lives on the earth, in heaven, or in hell is completely related to the non-material structure of their life and has nothing to do with their dietary habits. This fact proves that vegetarians are not necessarily compassionate, while those who eat meat are not necessarily evil. In the thousands of years of human history, there is no evidence that vegetarians have ever been more compassionate than meat eaters. To give a simple example, a chef made a dish with meat and vegetables in it. A vegetarian came over and told the chef that they do not eat meat and that a vegetarian dish must be prepared for them. May I ask, was this vegetarian being compassionate to the chef? Who was being merciful to the chef when they increased their workload? What kind of mercy was this? From the perspective of the transformation of life, no one can reincarnate to a higher level space while they owe any debts that remain unpaid. If a penny of debt is not repaid, then they will have to stay in the same realm of life and cannot advance until it is repaid. For example, if someone owes debts but they die before those debts are repaid, then it is absolutely impossible for their debts to be written off and that person must continue to reincarnate into the world to repay them. They can only leave the world when all of their debts have been repaid. If their debts are heavy, then they will reincarnate into the livestock world as an ox or horse to repay them. In this sense, the animals that are raised have their fateful sides. For example, pigs' fates are to be slaughtered and eaten to repay their debts and reincarnate out of the pig world. If they are not slaughtered and their meat is not eaten, then they will continue to reincarnate into the livestock world because their debts are not being repaid. From this, it can be seen that eating their meat is merciful to them because they will become liberated. If they are not eaten, then no one will be letting them repay their debts. It would be cruel to let them continue to reincarnate back as livestock. From the perspective of creationism, all products created by people have their functions and everything created by them have their clear purposes. Do we create computers and mobile phones just for fun without any purposes or uses? Does the greatest creator create lives without purposes or uses? Are they all piled up on a whim? For example, when pigs are created, what is their purpose? Is there no value or meaning? The purposes for creating roosters is to crow to wake us up in the morning and to inseminate the hens, and the purposes of hens are to lay eggs and produce more of their kind. The creation of beautiful birds is to provide a sense of beauty to human beings. Everything created has its purpose, then what is the purpose and usage of creating pigs? They exist for biological balance. Just enough carnivores are created to consume otherwise over-reproductive herbivores. So, what about the artificially fed surplus rams, roosters, and bulls? Shall we continue to raise them? Are you willing to continue to raise them, or do you want to release domestic animals into the forests and leave them to fend for themselves, or perhaps you would be willing to take care of them? Therefore, Lifechanyuan does not advocate veganism. We are practical and will not be moral supremacists. However, Lifechanyuan does not advocate eating wild animal meat because no wild animals have been created to be eaten by humans. We eat meat from animals that have been specifically fed by humans, especially those animals that are specifically fed to provide meat for humans, yet we do not advocate that just anyone can slaughter them with any old knives. The slaughtering must be carried out by professionals so as to minimize the pain of those animals being slaughtered. The only disadvantage of eating meat is that, enjoying the nutrients of domestic animals and poultry will bring harm to the people's nature. This is scientifically reasonable because any meat of life carries genetic information. If we eat animals, then we absorb those animals' genetic information within us. If we eat too much animal meat, then the amount of animal information within us will increase. In this way, their animal nature will interfere with our human nature, and our human nature will mix with their animal's nature. So how do we avoid this? One way is to eat very little meat, and another way is to be grateful for the gift of food from the greatest creator and to be grateful for the dedication of the animals eaten by us so as to resolve their nature. Going from one extreme to the other will bring harm to human society as well as to nature, so do not do anything with absolutism, that is, be an omnivore, neither a pure herbivore nor a pure carnivore. The best way is to take things as they are, follow predestined ties, eat whatever is available, and never go to extremes. As for those who are born without meat or who cannot eat meat due to disease and those who are physically allergic to it, that is another matter.